Yeah, so yes, good morning, everybody, boys and girls. I'll continue today where we stopped last time with the play, Saadallah Wanus's play, The King's Elephant, and I hope to finish it this morning because I think we need to move on, and I think it's enough attention to be given to it. So I will continue here. And if you really want to, again, show me, or you want to share with us here, with everybody, what you think, if you have any question, if you want to say anything about it, please do. Okay. Yeah, last time I stopped on page 44, 45. I think when I was highlighting for you the idea that really the play, I think, this is my own reading, and as I said, we can argue that. I think the play is more on the people of that town, on society, and how people listen to stories and rumors and gossip, and how this really communal misconception about the king. This is what I'm saying, societal, communal misconception. I'm not going to say the ignorance, because the word ignorance here is too much. But I could say misconception, or this, as I said, even the mythology, because there was some kind of mythology really made on him, which is really not true. Especially as we shall see, the proof that it was really not true, because when the king was really very friendly to them, very nice to Zachariah, who spoke to him, and in fact he rewarded him. So the end of the play, yes, it was shocking to us, because Zachariah twisted the whole story and twisted the whole thing upside down in a very angry way, but the king has no idea. The king doesn't know this. So that's why really the play here showed at the end, of course, showed that the king has no idea what's going on, and he thought that the people really are happy about his everything, especially here about the elephant. And they say, they think that this elephant needs a wife, which is really, to us as audience and to everybody listening, as part of the audience, as even part of the characters, even to Zachariah, the whole thing was shocking, was absolutely shocking and unbelievable. How could he come up with such a story? And but I'm saying the king has no idea. How can we blame the king for something that he has no idea about? Yes, you may say, yeah, a king should know. Yeah, a king should know. Yeah, etc. But as I'm saying, a king can't go into every street and every corner in his own country to know what's going on. So this is really the idea I'm saying here. Sometimes you say yes, and mostly we say no. So really this is the idea here. I'm saying here, I just trying to summarize what I was saying to you last time about it, and the conclusion here of this play really supports this. As I said, you can give me your own idea, your own if you like, opinion about it. I would welcome that, no problem. As long as usual, as long as you support your idea, no problem. Now, last time I was reading on page 45, 444 and 445, and the point that Zakaria was always emphasizing is to, you know, to have a unified voice, But again, he is angry that the voices are still discordant, as you can see here at the end of page 445. Notice Zakaria again waving his arm to protest. We are still nowhere near getting it right. We must speak with one voice, all together, clear and distinct. You see, this is it. Really, this is his idea. He wants absolute clarity and, you know, unique togetherness. As he said, one voice. And I think that's the problem. Really, this is the problem. The play is about the lack of togetherness, or you can say the disintegration of, you know, the community, in this sense, that is, they can't unite, and that's the problem. And I think this is a real social problem. Sometimes we talk about it, even in political, social, etc. Again, he said, otherwise the king won't be able to make sense of it, and then he won't be moved by the things we tell him, and he won't have any pity on us. This isn't one person's complaint. This is it. You know, it's not one person. He said, it's our complaint. That's why we must, that's why we have to voice it as if we were one person. And I think that's what I'm saying here. That's the question of being one. You know, the whole of the group, the society being one, to make it clear and obvious absolutely to the king, so he would listen to us, and then he will behave in a good way towards us. And really, that's the belief, and that's the idea. And I think that's what the king did. You know, at the end, the king really rewarded them. He rewarded Zakaria to be the guardian or in charge of all of this, because he was happy with the idea. You know, he has no, as I'm saying, of course, you may say, well, yeah, well, this is how the writer did it in an intelligent way, to change the whole thing upside down. Or you may say to me, well, you know, people were frightened and not able to speak in front of the king, and maybe, you know, Zakaria should have understood this, you know, should have understood that, and should not have changed the story. I'm saying, really, the play here is not blaming Zakaria for twisting the events. Zakaria did it in a funny way, in a punchy way, in a forced sort of really revengeful way against his own people. And maybe this is true. I don't know. I mean, this is really what I think. You can again tell me what you think. Again, Zakaria went on to make it one voice. Notice again on the next page, Zakaria, just one last time, careful now, and make sure your voices to stay all together. Let's get there. Let's get this over with once and for all. Now, ready? The elephant lord of all time. You know, he's saying, because he's going to start, this is how he is going to say, you know, wants them to say after him. And then the group, the voice is more in unison now. Maybe now they are more unified. Killed Muhammad al-Fahd's son, trampled him in the street, left him just a mass of flesh and mud. As the lights fade, the voices become increasingly less distinct and finally die down. Zakaria again was repeating, and the group repeating to him the same thing. And really, I find it really interesting to see Zechariah repeating all the time the same phrase all the time. Now, again here, when they arrive to the king's palace, as you can see, the next third scene, the people are gathered before the palace gates, which occupy most of the stage. They are waiting and chattering together. Again, you can see here how, again, the misconception about it here, and the people working around or in the palace, they behave and pretend to be authoritative in funny way, really. Notice here voices. The guard still hasn't come back. They won't let us in. Why shouldn't they let us in? Zechariah's voice again. Subjects have the right to see their king. I think here really it's a very interesting word here. Really, here the word subjects. Amani, are you here, Amani, this morning? I don't know. I haven't seen her.
Yes, doctor, I am here.
Yeah, very good. What is subjects in Arabic?
I don't know. مواضيع or what?
No, Amani. Remember,
What?
these are the subjects. The subjects, notice, look at the sentence. It says subjects, notice. Subjects have the right to see their king.
Means الحاشية or maybe.
Citizens.
Very good,
Yeah.
Shuruk. Yes, the people. Al-Muwatinin, Al-Muwatinun, Ash-Shab. Really, the people. Why he said subjects? In English, anybody knows this idea here? Fatima Saeed? Aisha, yeah?
Maybe they are because they are subjected to the king rule.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Really, no, it's the opposite, because the word subjects, if they were subjected to his rule, then they would say objects. But because, yes, they are under his rule, and practically speaking, they are in a way, they are, below the king. So the meaning of subjects here really means objects, but of course in a positive way. That is, we are not going to say that they are the servants of the king. They are not servants of the king. They are not really objects of the king in a bad way. But that's why I think the English language here is very funny and very strong to say subjects, to say, yeah, we have the freedom, we have the power as the people. And that's why they say subjects, means a subject is the doer of the action, isn't it? When I say I speak, because the word I here is the subject of the sentence, isn't it? You see, this is the idea really. And that's why I want you to learn this word in English. In politics, they use this. Subjects means the people, really means the people, the general public, the citizens of the nation. Really, as I'm saying, al-muwatinin, everyone in the land, they are called subjects. And as I said, really, it's used in English to highlight the idea that these people have power and have position and have respect and have all what they want. That's why we say subjects. Okay, good. Now, the idea really here, Zechariah is saying, yeah, we the people have the right to see our king. And the voices again say, since when did anyone care about rights? Suppose they don't let us in. What are we going to do then? Zechariah again said, don't worry, the king will let us in. You see? Again, here supports what I was saying. The king is a nice man. So why do we listen to all these stories? The king is a nice man, so he would help us. Again, voices say, why shouldn't he listen to us? They say, you see, they say he's kind. Again, you know, this is again to do with the idea of hearsay. Hearsay, as we say in Arabic, al-hartaqa. You know the word hearsay, ya Ghadir? I think I said this to you before. Did I? I mentioned this to you in studies in longer fiction. Ghadir. Come on, my boys. Where are you, my girls? I saw Ghadir somewhere. Yeah, yes. Anyway, it's really amazing here that Zachariah, as I said, knows this, and that's why they are repeating all that. Again, they say, I saw, well, this is not clear to me. I can't, yeah, I saw him, I saw him smile, I can't read this because, on coronation day, we all remember his smile and so on. Again, Zachariah said, don't forget, we all have to speak as one. Again, voices with one voice. Here is the guard coming. The guard is coming back at last. What answers he is going to bring? Again, the guard spoke to them. King will see you. Voices. The king will see us. Live, long live the king. Amen. You know, long live the king here means Ash al-Malik. Ash al-Malik. You know, it's, of course, that's the expression sometimes people say, long live the king. Amen. And the guard, of course, breaking in still more disdainfully. Notice here, the guard really is not happy with them. Make sure your shoes are properly cleaned before you come in, and give your clothes a good shake out. We don't want any lice or fleas in here. The people begin automatically to clean their shoes and shake their clothes. And above all, show a bit of discipline going in. Be sure again, above all, he said, above all, show a bit of discipline going in. Be sure not to touch anything. You are in the king's palace, remember, not on your own mud heaps. Remember, this is the view of the guard. This is the view of the guard, and the guard is only a little soldier. Remember, he is only a soldier, and this is his opinion, not the king's opinion, that these people are full of lice. You know the word lice and fleas? You know, we've said that before. You know, like these terrible insects. And he said the idea, you know, mud heaps, meaning your ugly houses. You are here in the king's palace. This is the view. Yes, of course, a king's palace is a king's palace. Yes, but normally kings don't show off. Kings, mostly rulers and country leaders, many times, all the times, they show respect to their people, and they sit with them on the ground like them. And I think this is very clear, and I've seen it in many real life. Of course, by a mounting sense of awe and fear. You know, everybody, as you can see the word mounting, they are really being frightened. Oh, of course, you know, fear, of course, to be, you know, careful what to say. There is a suppressed buzz of amazement. You know, they were amazed, but they didn't show their amazement. Again, voices, look at those fountains. I don't believe it. Look at the marble. It's shining in all different colors. Zachariah's voice, walk slowly and don't shuffle your feet on the floor. You know, the way they walk, as if they are dragging their feet. You know, this is when he said shuffle, you know, as if to say, walk in a proper way and don't make, you know, noise. Voices again, don't the guards look fierce? As you can see here, the people are making funny comments. And sometimes we don't blame them, you know, because they have never seen or they have never been in the kingdom's, you know, palace. So that's why maybe they are really surprised about what's going on. And of course, again, Zechariah went on to say to them, or on the next page, as you can see, voices again, we'll soon have a right, we will soon have a sight of this splendid throne. It's making me weak at the knees. What a hall. My heart is pounding. Look at the carpets. The walls are glittering like sunlight. Where is the king? There is another door opening. The guard opens a door at the end of the hall. The door is guarded by 4 soldiers. Voices, every door has its own guards. There are more of them every time. You would think their faces were made of stone or steel. I'm sweating. Of course, as I said, this is the reaction of the people because they have never been in a palace and they have never seen how the soldiers, you know, behave and respect and the way they stand next to their king. Of course, they would be looking like stones, as if they don't show any emotion, because this is how they are trained. They should behave well in front of the king. So that's why the people are amazed by the looks of these guards. And I think this is natural because I'm sure, I mean, I've seen this myself, honestly, when if you ever go to London and you visit the Buckingham Palace, the Queen's Palace, and you see the guards outside, and even you come next to the guard, and even if you touch the guards, they will not even look at you. And they are real, you know, thing, because they are trained not to even speak, not to even smile or anything, which is really amazing. And I've seen it myself in a real life situation. And they look like stones, he said. You know, they make like stone or steel, you know, which is, as I said, this is how they are trained for. Again, the girl said, where is the king hiding away? You see, this is the childish reaction. And I think Saadallah al-Nus here really is excellent and is intelligent to give this young lady, this young girl, she's a girl of maybe 7 or 9, I'm not sure how old, but notice how she is telling the real truth about what the people feel and think. And that's why she said, hiding away. Where is the king hiding away? And the voices, you know, shh. So they shushed her, you know, they stopped her. It's a golden tunnel. You know, they say, you know, like the whole thing looks like a golden tunnel. Again, Zechariah's voice, get a grip on yourselves. One word, and to be honest with you, I didn't know the word in Arabic. I didn't see it in Arabic, but Again, if I ask you to give me one word in Arabic for all this, get a grip on yourselves. One word in Arabic. Get a grip on yourselves. One word.
تماسكوا.
Huh?
تماسكوا.
Very good. Who's this? Hajar. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Tamasaku. Yes. Tamasaku. Absolutely. So he's saying, come on, be strong, and don't show any funny behavior. Voices again, it's dazzling. Where are they taking us? This is fearful. There are guards everywhere now. They chop off heads as soon as yawn, or I think it should be as you yawn, maybe. I don't know. I have to double check it in Arabic to see. They chop off heads as soon as yawn. I think it should be you yawn. It's amazed that this palace. Again, this is their fear and their misconception about why they should chop off heads. Chop heads mean they cut off your head if you yawn. I think that's not true. Yawning if you show that you are sleepy, And the guards, of course, stop. Notice, stop. The guard stops at the door, guarded by a large number of fierce-looking guards. Again, the guard to the group more disdainfully than ever. You will now be entering the throne room. You will now be entering the throne room. قاعة العرش. ستدخلون الآن قاعة العرش. No false moves or else. Notice here, or else means وإلا. No false moves or else. وإلا. Audiences have their rules. Audiences really means here not just the audience, the people who are waiting, but meaning the meetings with the king. This whole process of meeting the king, this whole action of meeting the king has its own rules, he said, has its own really rules and principles. And he said, just remember that. Zechariah said to him, we will show we know how to behave in front of the king. Won't we? He's answering the God. He said, don't worry, we will be fine. We will show respect. We must be totally courteous, respectful. We will enter in perfect file. Bow respectfully, then submit our complaint to the king. Voices again. We are going to see the king. My head is spinning. My heart is pounding. My heart is pounding. Again, you may say, well, because these people were absolutely terrified, so that's why they were not able to speak. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But that's their mistake. Why they should be. Again, the guard said here, the guards opened the door, and the guard said, reminding again, remaining by the door and facing inward, the commons of the city, your majesty. Notice here he said the commons of the city. The commons of the city means عامة الشعب, العموم. And that's why in Britain they say the House of Parliament and the House of Commons. There is really a government body in the political system in England, in Britain. They say the House of Parliament and the House of Commons. The House of Commons supposed to be, like we say, Majlis al-Ummah. Really, it's called Majlis al-Ummah, if you like. And really here, it's the good expression, say, the commons of the city, Your Majesty. And the king from within, have them come in. Have them come in, means let them come in. Guard, you can go in now. Keep your heads bowed. Zachariah leads the people in. Their expressions and steps alike show mounting panic and confusion. You see here, we come back to the same problem, which is panic and confusion. Again, voices hoarse and tremulous, you know, means their voices can't even, you know, they start to not being able to speak, because the word hoarse here really, like we say in Arabic, that is sometimes when you can't speak because of fear or because of disease or because of something, so your voice can't really be heard properly. And that's what we say, you know, as we say in Arabic, we say ajash. I don't know if you know, this is in classical Arabic. As-sawt al-ajash means, you know, something that you really, your voice can't be heard properly because of fear. So here they say hoarse and tremulous. The king holding his scepter, sending out light like the sun. Keep your heads bowed. The guards are like ghosts. Sorry, the guards are like ghosts in every corner. Such a high throne, and the king glittering like a meteor. The king. Notice the word meteor, you know. Really, it's, as we say in Arabic, again, like a star coming down. You know, we say a shuhub or like a shahab, you know, which is really very, very, very funny here. We say like a falling down from sky star, you know, like a star coming down, which is really, you know, to show the absolute respect and really amazement by the king. Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, can you all hear me, and are you okay?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes.
Very good. I don't know, anybody writing something in chats? Yeah, nothing. Yeah, okay, so so the idea here, we see again, notice the faces freeze, and their fear turns to chilly silence. All the heads, including Zachariah, are bowed. They stumble on, bowing as low as they can, unable to stand up straight again. You know, I think this is exaggeration to some extent. Sometimes you bow to the king, but you get up, for God's sake. You know, he's saying here, they bowed so down, you know, they bowed like in prayers, and they couldn't stand up, you know, they couldn't straighten themselves up again. And you know, this is what he said, to go up, to stand up straight again. And Zachariah even was amazed by that, because he looked at them and he was shocked, you know, by this thing. And notice here, the king showed you again respect to them. What do the subjects wish from their king? وَمَاذَا يُرِيدُ الشَّعْبُ مِنْ مَلِيكِهِ? You know, this is really a nice expression. وَمَاذَا تُرِيدُ الْأُمَّةِ مِنْ مَلِيكِهَا? You know, which is really nice. It's a good thing to say, you are my people, what do you want from me? I'm your king, you are welcome. There is a heavy silence. There is a heavy silence. How do you translate heavy here? There's a very good word. I don't know. I must check again to see if it's the same in the act. There is a heavy silence. Heavy. How do you?
موحش. We can use it.
موحش, عميق. I don't know. I remembered one word. I don't know if it's the same. Maybe I'll say it. Yeah. Anybody else?
Maybe شديد.
Maybe
Something
shadid. Maybe shadid. There's a better word. Aisha. Aisha Ali. Huh?
صمت مميت maybe.
صمت مميت. No, not مميت. Not مميت really. مميت is too much. شروق.
كثيف.
maybe
What? كثيف. No.
صوت مهيب.
صوت ايش؟
مهيب.
مهيب. I like the word صمت مطبق.
That's the word.
Honestly, I don't know if it's the same in the play, but I think the word صمت مطبق, which is really, I think, the best expression. I think. And I honestly, again, I don't know if it's the same word in the original Arabic. If it is not, then Saad al-Warnus should have changed it to that. صمت مطبق means absolute silence, you know? And really, this is amazing here when you say heavy. You know, I like the translation here, really. Heavy silence, you know, which is really very nice. I like it. Notice, not a sound can be heard. They are just a group of silent, bowed bodies. Bowed bodies. Yeah, again, you know, again, as if to say they look like being, you know, exactly like dead bodies. You know, bowed bodies, silent, bowed bodies. And the king, you have leave to speak. What is your complaint? Means, come on, I will give you the freedom to speak. Tell me. You have the freedom and anything to tell me. What is your complaint? بماذا تشتكون? تفضلوا. Isn't it? Zachariah plucking up his courage and speaking in a tremulous voice. You know, Zachariah, as I said, you know, was courageous and he wanted to speak. And he said, the elephant, Lord of all time, because this is how they were training. And you know, he repeated that. The elephant, Lord of all time. And of course, the king has no idea. He said, what about the elephant? وماله الelephant? وش فيه الelephant? Isn't it? Voices from the group, tremulous. They just said kill and then stopped. The voice is stifled and the man turns around in panic. Now, what man? Of course, you know, Zachariah and everybody, and you know, because here we say the man, you know, he didn't say Zachariah or the king or anyone, but just said the man, you know, meaning, you know, as if to say that you know, the shock for everyone. Zachariah speaking more firmly. Now again, Zachariah said it again. He said, the elephant, Lord of all time. And the king, losing patience, what about the elephant? And the girl in a low voice, killed Maha. and then they stopped her. The frightened mother puts her hand over the girl's mouth to stop her speaking. And the king, what was that? Zechariah, confused but angry too, speaking more loudly. The elephant, Lord of all times. And the king, now becoming really angry, he said, I'm running out of patience. انتبه يا ابني إني فقدت الصبر. إنني أفقد الصبر. Come on, tell me, what about the elephant? Zechariah, again desperate now, turning to the bowed, panic-stricken bodies. Again, Zechariah was, remember now, he said four times he said, and the people didn't say anything. So he became very angry. I mean, Zechariah is very angry because, as you can see, desperate now, turning to their bowed, panic-stricken bodies. And again, he repeated, the elephant, Lord of all times, of all time. Again, the king said to him, stop whining, will you? The elephant, Lord of all time, speak up or I will have you whipped. Really here, the word whining, as if you are like, like a child crying. Come on, tell me, what is it with the elephant? Otherwise, I'm going to punish you and whip you. Tell me, what's wrong with the king, with the elephant? Zechariah gazes at the group. As you can see here, the king has no idea, and they didn't tell the king. And the king didn't even know what the young lady, the young girl said, because, even he didn't killed me. They wanted to say who killed me. And that's why here you can see how gazes at the group, first desperately, then with the disdain. Remember, Zechariah is looking disdainfully, really disrespectfully, absolutely باحتقار شديد towards his own people, with absolute impudence and, unbelievable, looking down on his people. Why can't you speak? The look on his face changes as he moves forward towards the king. Notice here the power of Zechariah, and I think that's what I'm saying, that the play is about Zechariah and his people. It's not about the elephant. Really, it's not about the elephant. It's not about the king. Zechariah, in a great story, and look at him, uttering his words in a most skillful and accomplished fashion. You see, Zechariah in a very great way. Notice the word skillful and accomplished, as if he has practiced to say this for many times. And this is the first time he said it. We love the elephant, Lord of all time. We love and cherish the elephant, sir, as you yourself do. When he walks in the city, our hearts filled with delight. We are happy indeed to see him. So much, sir, so much, sire, even used the word sire, that life without him is unimaginable now. And yet, your majesty, we mark how the elephant, by reason of his loneliness, fails to receive his due share of happiness and joy. Loneliness is a wretched state, my lord. And so we, your loyal and loving subjects, come to you today to beg that you will find the elephant a wife, a consort, to relieve his loneliness, in the hope that then he may have scores, no hundreds, no thousands of offspring, no, to fill the entire city. What an amazing twist. Zachariah, where did you get this from? Come on, Zachariah, where is this from? Amazing twist. Amazing twist, isn't it? Voices hoarse and painfully rough. Notice now the voices. Find the elephant a wife? What? Find the elephant a wife? King roaring with laughter. Ho, 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 ho. The king was amazed. Is that what you came for? ألهذا أتيتم؟ ألهذا وإله ويلي. Is that what you have come for? Zechariah, we trust our Lord and Master will not deny our request. نتوسل إليك يا أيها الملك ألا تردنا خائبين وإله ويلي. Isn't it? And the king was amazed, really. He looked at his vizier or his minister. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Now there is an interesting request. I have always said how lucky I was to have such loyal, loving, tender, kind-hearted subjects. Kam ana sa'id, na'am. Yes. The king is so proud. He said, I'm very happy to have such lovely people as my people. My subjects are full, brimful. مليئين حتى الشفاه, isn't it? Of affection. Wow. And naturally, we shall bow to the people's demand. وبالطبع سننحني لرأي الأمة. سنقبل بما تقول به الأمة. Isn't it? Amazing. The king hereby decrees first. ولذلك صدرنا ما هو آت. First, that an expedition shall be sent to India to search out a wife for our elephant. Second, that this noble, courageous man shall be rewarded with this post of resident companion to the elephant. Third, that the wedding night shall be a public holiday and food and drink served free of charge, and the festivities lasting 5 full days and nights. Zechariah, God bless our bounteous king and preserve him for us. Voices hoarse and painful rough. God bless our bounteous king and preserve him for us. King, your demands have been met. You may go now. They begin to move humbly away, fade out. Suddenly, the stage is lit up again, and the actors stand before the audience in a line. They bow down, abandoned their parts. Group. That was a story which we acted in the hope we can all learn a lesson from it. Do you know now why elephants exist? Do you know now why elephants exist? Do you know now why elephants breed? But this is only the start. When elephants breed, a new story starts. A violent, bloody story which one day we will act for you. Well, what do you think? Hello? Hello?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Any comments?
I think the twist was amazing. Zakaria did not prepare for that. So I think that was amazing. And about the people, I think they lack self-respect because they cannot identify their rights. Like one of their important rights is to speak up about their whether they like or what they like and what they don't like. So I think what Zakaria did was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, more comments, more ideas. What do you think? Yeah,
To make a note.
Aisha, yeah. Aisha said in the chat, people are saying something. They want to solve the problem, but unfortunately, they came up with another disaster. Yes, yeah, Aisha Ali. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's their fault. That's why Zakaria was absolutely devastated and shocked, and really all his twist is against his people, not because he was angry with them. Yeah, what do you think?
I have
Fatima?
yes.
Yes.
I can't make sense of many scenes here if we are separating like the interpretation of the story, the society, and from the political scene. I mean, starting from the assumption that I wish has some truth to it, Saadallah Wannous is not really writing about some folk or some people that we don't really know about. I mean, he's writing about his own people, right?
Well, of course, it could be. Of course, yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So if you're starting from this assumption, then we can't separate the story from the political scene. I mean,
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Remember, I said, this is, of course, it's political. You know, Fatima, everything is political, you know.
exactly. Yes. So why we are saying this is about misconception and mythology and real fear and
No. I meant, yeah. Go on. Yes.
yeah. So I think this is my point, and I think like if we're just looking at the other side, I mean society, and saying that this is about Zakaria and his people, then again, why the title of the play goes the king's elephant? So I think this connection, we can't break this connection between the king and his elephant, which by the way, the elephant, I think it's a symbol for something related immediately and directly to the king himself. It could be his eyes or his hands on the public, or something about his actions, his actual actions. But again, we do again understand why, for example, Saadallah Wannous is not really making some direct points here, because it could be because of the context he's living in, the nation, and the political scene at that time. So yeah, I think this is a point or a note I wanted to make.
Yeah, I agree with you absolutely. You know, I said to you, and I repeat it many times. I feel that it's more about the people and about the misconception. Of course, the background, you know, the frame, the general frame of the story is, yes, absolutely political. It is political and it's politics. Yes, it's about the king and his men. You know, the idea really here, Saadallah Wannous, as I told you, in real life, he was really, if you like, he was not accepted, or he was followed, or he was maybe at some point he was prosecuted by the political system in Syria. That's why he maybe ran away to France, and maybe he lived most of his life in France or outside Syria for the last parts of, I don't know how many years really, at the end of the day. And yes, Saadallah al-Nus was really waging a political lesson. Absolutely, I agree with you. And as I say, the elephant could be his own men. I mean, the king's men or the president's men could be his own people around him who do a lot of things against the nation, and nobody dares to say anything to them. Could be the president's son, or could be the president's really close aides who are around him and who will do a lot of funny things in his name, because this is what happens everywhere in real life politics, and that's true. You know, I agree with you. I mean, the whole story, politically speaking, the outframe, the outside, the color and the texture and all this is absolutely, yes, political. And the elephant here is only a symbol for some other negative power which is misused or misapplied by the people around the king or around the president or whoever. And this is the idea. Again, Al-Rayyan said, as if the elephant is a symbol for the violence and corruption in Syria at that time. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. And yeah, so, but I am saying, the play really is, remember at the end what he said, look the last line, you know, the one I read. He said, do you know now why elephants exist? Do you know now why elephants breed? You see? Because we made them, not the king.
We can't like view the king.
Play, Fatima.
Okay.
Fatima,
Yes.
I like your mind, and you have a great mind, I know. I'm saying here, look at this last sentence here. It really means we, the people, are responsible. And that's it. The play says it clearly. He said, do you know why? Because we didn't speak. Elephants are there and they are killing us because we didn't speak. That's it. That's it. We are to blame. We are to blame. We are to blame.
Then I think I have an issue with Saadallah al-Nus himself, because
No. I don't care about Saadallah al-Nus now. I'm looking at the text. The text says, do you know now why elephants exist? And do you know why they breed? And he said, by this story of ours is only the start. When elephants breed, a new story starts. A violent, bloody story. He said, one day, notice, again, we have more and more and more stories. And sometimes we will have a violent, bloody story. And this is an open thing. Could be about any story that, you know, is given here to the audience to think about. Really, this is the idea. Yeah, you say you have problems with Saadallah al-Nus. Tell me.
no, you said that I can't view the king as the innocent figure, the person who doesn't know a thing about what is really going on with the folk, because there is otherwise why he is a king. I mean, there is no such king exists. A king who doesn't know about his folk, a king who doesn't know what his elephant is really doing for the folk.
As I said, the elephant is a symbol. Could be anybody doing something in the name of the king, and nobody would tell the king. How would he know?
It just happens to be this way. King?
No. The king is not a god. You know, the king is not a god. if his people around him, if society around him, if they don't tell him what's going on, how would he know? That's why the play is saying, we made the elephant to go on. That's why, you know, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not defending the king, by the way, here in this way. I'm not defending him in a wrong fashion. I'm saying that the play, you know, this is my reading. The play is absolutely 80% of the play is about the inactivity, the ignorance, the inactivity and the silence and the dead silence and the heavy silence and the wrong silence of the society. And they are responsible. They are in charge. And the king is so nice to his people. And he said, this is my people, and I like you, my people, and I'm happy to have you, my people. And you love me, and I love you. But, you know, how would he know? How would he know? He has no idea. A king is not a god. So to be told by the people around him, or he will go down to the streets and meet people. And when he meets people and these people don't tell him, so how would he know? Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, right. Any more ideas or questions?
Doctor,
Yeah, Amani, yes.
I really loved how the story is an open story. It's like when I finished reading the story, I was thinking, I didn't stop at the end. I was thinking what Zakaria will do, what like how is it going to continue? And I think it's a very brilliant idea to make it open. So it's just like to say that this case is not going to end. You have to think about it, and it doesn't have a specific ending. You just have like to do something about it. So I think the twist.
Yeah. Do you lose connection? No, we are okay.
I was talking. I didn't say anything because
Yeah.
I was explaining. Okay.
Yeah.
I said that this I like how the story ends, and I really think that this making the story open is a very brilliant idea. Like when I finished reading the story, I didn't stop at the end. I was thinking about Zakaria. I was thinking what is going to happen. So and that's the case. Like maybe the writer wants us to think that this case is not going to end. We have to do something about it.
Absolutely, yeah. And that, yeah, absolutely. I see what you mean. And I think, yeah, he did it deliberately, as you can see, the open-ended thing, that this will go on and on and on, and it will never stop unless people, you know, decide their own fate, if you like. And really, this is the idea. The open-endedness, I think, is very nice conclusion here. It could be weird, could be strange, but yes, this is the situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more comments and things to say? Okay. Now, the next, if you don't have any question, I'll move on to the next. As you know, the next figure really we will see here is a very different, a really classical, absolutely classical example, who is very different from modern. Remember the examples we have done are modern, contemporary, if you like, modern examples. You know, the examples that we've had about world texts. And now we will move to a really very classical example, Italian literature, Dante Alighieri. Dante Alighieri, who is a very, really amazing figure, who wrote in the 14th century. 14th century. In fact, he died 1321. 1321, born 1265. And as you can see, I gave you a chapter in the booklet that I sent you, one full chapter on Dante Alighieri, and the example is the Divine Comedy. And the Divine Comedy really is very interesting here. Maybe I will explain it to you. Really, Dante in this example, the Divine Comedy, as I said, in Arabic is translated into Al-Malhat Al-Ilahiyya, and really this is an amazing example because divided the world into three main sections, three main circles. And if you like, if you like, I can draw with you here really this, and I can show you if you can see it. I will share with you the whiteboard here. I have a whiteboard. You can see it. I'm sharing it to you. You can log in with me and see. Okay. Yeah. Yes, very good. You see, I'm just quickly, I want to show you really briefly what he means by this funny thing. Right? Notice some of you already have joined. Now, really, he created the world into three main circles. The universe. You know, he imagined the world to be a massive circle, and he says he has three main circles, and that's why he, for example, the inner circle, if I can draw circles to you here, and this one, and another circle around it, right? And another circle, which is the outside, okay? Now, you know, this is really what he means. So the universe is like that, is a big, massive circle. The outside circle and the inside circle and the inner circle. Here in the middle, which is the inner one here, he called this inside one, he called it hell. And this side here, this circle here, he called it purgatorio. And this one, he called it paradiso, or paradise. So the inside is called hell. The one outside it is called purgation or purgatorio. He called it purgation. And the last one, he called it paradise. The section here and the story, really, it's a massive three massive volume poem. It's a poem, a long, very long poem. It's written in poetry. And here I give you one example, only one chapter of Inferno. So he talked about the universe as the whole world. And he's talking about it like this, as I said, you know, massive circle, which is a great one, as I say, which is the outside one. And the another one inside it, and another one inside. And this inside one here, as I say, it's called hell, right? This one here, hell. This one here is purgatorio. This one here is called paradiso, or paradise. And that's why we say inferno, purgatorio, Paradiso. Really, this is a crazy, amazing, imaginative, really story about the world. And in fact, many people, and we Orientalists or Oriental maybe critics or people from the East in generally, or especially we Muslims, we really think that Dante has taken from or really imitated Ibn al-Ala al-Ma'arri or Abu al-Ala al-Ma'arri in his poetry again, and Abu al-Ala also talks about al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Really, the whole story here was really this story. I'm saying our friend Dante really taken a lot from al-Ma'arri. Could be, yes, I think could be, because al-Ma'arri wrote before him, and we know many scholars here. I will stop this sharing because I think that's enough what I want to say. The idea really is very important to understand how this story worked. And I think I mentioned something here about, I don't know if this is taken, I don't know if I mentioned something about Abu al-Ala al-Ma'arri or not, but I mentioned here this to you in my example, or in my little introduction to this in the first 2 pages of the notes that I sent you, okay? So really this is the idea. So this is a very huge epic poem, as I said, divided into 3 main volumes, and he called it comedy. And really this is the funny thing, divine comedy. Why? Because he's looking at about the whole notion of creation and life and afterlife and all this, and the question of pilgrimage, and the question of cleansing, and the question of hell, and the question of punishment, and so on. And really he did this in a very, very great way. And I think please read that for next time, because I will do it. I will do it next time, and I think I will stop here for today. If you have any question, I will be more than happy to answer.